Hi, my name's Ian Keller. This is a brief video to show you how to use Chroma Key filter in OBS to make PowerPoint slides transparent so that you can overlay them over your webcam, which ends up looking like that. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is open up an instance of PowerPoint, any file that you've already got. And in the description below, I'm going to link to a PowerPoint template file, but you can create your own in View, Master View, and just make the Master View background green, and that'll be fine. Next thing you want to do is in your browser, go to obsproject.com and download the relevant version of OBS for your system. When you run that executable, it will ask you if you want to run the auto configuration wizard, and it'll give you three options. First is for streamers using Twitch and YouTube, and I presume that's not going to be you. You can choose recording if you're going to be doing some recording of lectures for asynchronous use. If you're only going to be streaming, and which means essentially you tell whatever software you use, like Zoom or Blackboard, to use OBS as your virtual camera, then click the final button. But I suspect for most of you, you're going to want to click just for recording. The next step is over on the left-hand side, you're going to create a scene, and that scene is the feed for the webcam. We're going to create three scenes, one for the webcam, one for PowerPoint, and one that combines both of them. You're then going to go over to the right-hand side, and you're going to add a video capture device, which is your webcam, and just choose your webcam. For this example, I'm using my Logitech C920 for the slides, and I'm using my main webcam for the presentation here that you can see. The next thing you're going to do is add a microphone. So that's an audio input capture device, and I've got my separate microphone, but you may want to use your webcam microphone or whatever. And lastly, and this is optional, if you sometimes play audio in your presentations and you want that audio feed from the PowerPoint presentation, say you're playing a video or whatever, then you're going to need to add an audio output capture source. And I suggest the device you use is just default, so just whatever normally plays on your PC. Now we're going to create the next scene. So press the button down on the left-hand side, give that scene a name. I've misspelt PowerPoint here. And then over on the right-hand side, you're going to add a new source, and that's a window capture. There I've named that PowerPoint source. That opens up a dialog box, and I've selected the PowerPoint instance that I've got open. Capture method, I've chosen the Windows graphics capture method because I find that updates more reliably. Later, we're going to go back and change that window to the PowerPoint slideshow, but we don't need to worry about that for now. Okay, then we're going to add the final last scene. I'm calling that presenting, and that's where we combine the two previous scenes. So then I go over into sources and I add a scene, and the first scene is the webcam scene, and the second scene is the PowerPoint scene. If you do that in the wrong order, so that the webcam is overlaid on PowerPoint rather than PowerPoint overlaid on the webcam, just click on the PowerPoint source and then use the arrow button to move it up. Now, at the moment, the PowerPoint source is full screen, so you'd be overlaying the whole of the screen with PowerPoint, and I don't think you want that. I think you want it off to the side. So the way you do that is you right-click on it and then choose Transform and then Edit Transform. Now on my system, my main screen is a 1920 by 1080p set size. And so I'm resizing PowerPoint to be a 720p equivalent, so 1280 by 720. Now I'm going to go back into PowerPoint, and I'm going to go into the Design tab and then scroll down on the designs. And when you get to the bottom, it will let you choose Browse for Themes. And there, I'm going to choose the PowerPoint theme that I downloaded. If you made your own, you'll find that in your documents in the custom office templates folder. So applying that template has now changed the look of my PowerPoint from that to this. And as you can see, it's now got a green background. So all that's going to show through are the black and grey and white bits, and all the green bits are going to be ignored. The other thing you want to do is if your PowerPoint is in 16:9, it makes it easier to size it appropriate on the screen if you change it to 4:3, and that's in the design template. Over on the right hand side, there's a slide size button, and just choose the 4:3 button. Okay, so now we're back in OBS. You're still in the presenting scene, and you're on the PowerPoint source, and you right click and choose filter. And here's where we make that green background transparent. You go down to the bottom and press the plus button, and you add a Chroma Key filter. And then what pops up is a series of options for that Chroma Key filter. We've made the background green, so we're keeping the green color type. Similarity is how picky the filter is around the green color. And I find 400 works really nicely. If you choose less, you'll start to see the drop shadows appear, and then finally you'll get some interference, and finally the green will pop back in. If you do it too much, then you might find the whole screen disappears. So 400 works for me, but see what works for you. Okay, so now click on Scenes and go into PowerPoint, and here's where we're going to want to change it to a PowerPoint slideshow. So I haven't made a slide for this. Go back into PowerPoint before you do this and go into slideshow and start the slideshow. Then come back into OBS in this PowerPoint scene, and then in the bottom where it says window, now choose the PowerPoint slideshow window. And now if you go back into the presenting scene, you'll see now you've got the slideshow overlaid for your webcam feed. Now, we had those black bars there, and what we're going to want to do is get rid of those. And the way to do that is you hold down the Alt button and you drag across the PowerPoint scene window in the presenting scene. So if you can't see those that red square around the PowerPoint source, just on the PowerPoint source, click on the source, and then the red box should appear. And then pressing down the Alt key on your keyboard and dragging will let you resize that window. Then just click on the window itself and just drag it across to the side. Okay, so let's just show you what that looks like in practice. Okay, now we've got it working, and as you can see, I can now flick back and forth in PowerPoint, and I've got that overlay there. I hope that's been helpful. Thanks very much for watching. Bye.